What flavor is that? I haven't seen that in a while.
It was supposed to be ultra red, and apparently Tayton is colorblind because this is ultra fantasy ruby red. Good, but not ultra red.
It's a little wild. So you got your favorite flavors.
Ultra red is really good if you can find it.
I've been off them. I haven't had them for...
I need to get off of them.
Well, I make a pot of coffee now,
I keep saying that my refrigerator's stocked in my office, and I basically said I'm not stocking it anymore. When those are gone, I'm taking a break. Just an excuse. I should just stop. But
yeah, I don't know if it's any better because I probably drink anywhere from 6 to 10 cups of coffee a day now. So,
but, I mean, if I can get off of the energy drinks and drink tea and choke down, I don't mind iced coffee if I can get my caffeine that way instead of all of the extra stuff that this is caffeine plus a bunch of stuff that.
You always had a little bit of a caffeine?
No, when I was in law school and, staying up till all hours of the night, I was introduced to NOS for the first time, and that's where it started.
Welcome back into another episode of Where the Game Lives On, the official podcast of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. It's been a minute. It has been a minute. Our biggest break we've taken in a year and a half since starting the podcast. Just a lot going on. A lot of stuff going on.
Yep, a lot of people getting married. I mean, you were single the last time I was in here with you, and now you're not. So,
yeah,
congrats.
Thank you.
Beautiful ceremony.
Appreciate it. It was a surreal day.
Yeah.
You just don't really fully comprehend it until you just go through it.
I meant to tell you ahead of time, I can still go back 20 plus years, and I was going to tell you at some point you got to make yourself just stop.
Yeah.
And take it all in because it'll be a blur. I mean, it starts out in the morning and next thing you know, everything's done. And so
many people were like using that word, like, oh, it's a blur. It's going to go by so quick. And I'd gotten to the venue. I'd gotten settled in, had a really relaxed morning. And I was like, man, I don't know what everybody's talking about. And then as soon as I started, like, there's like a minute by minute schedule.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as I started having obligations, I was like, oh, okay. I see how this goes.
And then all of a sudden the cake's gone and people are leaving and they're tearing chairs down and you're like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, it's over. So but it was awesome wedding. And another big life change, Uncle Noah.
Yeah, they're just like piling on top of each other right now. It was I don't know. I wouldn't say it was any more important, but the uncle thing was very surreal.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, holy cow, this is like a new human that I've never even met. And they're just like here. So it was definitely a very just like eye-opening experience. But his name is Compton Jude. That's my brother and sister-in-law's firstborn. Came on Monday, October the 6th. I think that's what that was.
Sunday was the 6th.
Oh, 7th. The 7th. See? Now I already don't know his birthday.
I still remember I can go back. My mom waking me up. I was a freshman in high school, and I remember her waking me up on a September morning and saying my brother Brian they had their baby, and so I became an uncle, and I was like, okay, and I just rolled back over and went back to sleep. But funny thing is he grew up, and my nephew had a girl before I had my daughter, so I was actually a great uncle before I was a dad.
Oh, interesting.
So that's what happens when you get old. So.
Are your siblings spaced out a little bit?
Yeah. My brother had kids early and I waited a long time. So
yeah, well, everybody does life at their own pace, and that's just, yeah. Anyway, man, there's been so much happen since we've been.
I honestly don't remember the last time you and I both were in here. It's been a month at least.
Yeah, probably. Probably. I mean, there's just been a whole lot of crazy stuff.
Pretty sure Florida State hasn't won a game since we were in here. So not a whole lot's changed there.
That's rough, man.
But it has been a pretty cool, like Saturday was pretty awesome. You got to feel good if you're Mizzou. You go, obviously get blown out in College Station, but thank you, Vanderbilt. Thank you,
Arkansas.
for that, Arkansas. Yeah. So it kind of took the
Definitely
But
wild
it
weekend.
was definitely one of the wildest. There's always every year one crazy Saturday, and this certainly qualifies.
I'm wondering if it's just kind of that one off, or if there's going to be a lot of parity. Who knows? But
yeah,
I really just think it was
the Vandy Bama was frankly unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't listen to Paul Feinbaum, but if you have access, go look up the legend.
Okay.
His phone call into Feinbaum after, like, I don't know, I think it was on Wednesday, perhaps. No, Monday. It was on Monday. He called into Feinbaum. It was about 6 minutes of pure comedy gold.
I'm sure this is a Bama fan.
Oh, it was a Bama fan.
Oh, jeez.
And he was done with Coach DeBoer. The honeymoon was over. So
yeah, oof. Yeah, that's rough.
But,
did you see? I saw that my favorite from it was the Lane Kiffin press conference. You see that video?
No.
Like they're asking, he's looking up at it on the TV.
Oh, he's
and they're interviewing
it, okay.
him, and somebody asked him a question. And he's like, "What? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Like this is," and he's like, "This is a once in a lifetime thing, right here. Like number one teams don't just get beat by nobody."
Yeah, and if they do, it's usually at a decent program. Not. I saw the funniest thing I saw because if you're not familiar with Vanderbilt, especially in that area. Vanderbilt Hospital is kind of like the hospital of the mid Tennessee area, and so the funniest thing I saw was that Alabama just got beat by a hospital. So it doesn't happen, but
I couldn't believe that they carried
all the way from the stadium, the goalpost,
like 2 3/4 miles,
threw it in the Cumberland River.
Yeah.
There was another funny one that said, "Watch out, bachelorettes! Here come the goalpost" or something. So it was definitely a good day.
Yeah.
Of course, I spent Saturday making apple butter. Have you ever done that?
I haven't made it, but I've made like just regular butter, like
the churning it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Like you shake it.
We were out there, crack of dawn, and had the fire going, and you get the cider boiling. You pour the apples in that have been chopped up or cut. Yeah. And cored, and you cook them down, and then they go through a food processor, and they go back in, and you mix in all the sugar and the ingredients, and then cook it some more, and then you put it in jars. It probably about 6-7 hour process.
I was about to say, how long does it take? That's crazy. So. Yeah, apple butter's good. I was telling you the other day, I'd been to a guy that was in my wedding. He got married here last weekend. This place, man, I gotta figure out if you can buy this stuff. It was called Twisted Biscuit. And they had the best cinnamon butter something. Like it literally put like what you get at Texas Roadhouse to shame. It was probably closer to apple butter, maybe.
Oh wow!
Like if I had to guess, but it was like I put that on
Twisted
anything.
Biscuit. That just sounds good.
It was like a really wild like menu too. Like they had all kinds of really cool stuff, and breakfast is my favorite meal.
I mean, I like biscuits and cinnamon, but put some gravy on that. We'll call it a meal.
Yeah, you're more of a
biscuits. I love biscuits and gravy.
Over like a cinnamon roll.
Now, if you're yeah,
okay.
But I mean, I love cinnamon rolls.
Yeah,
I used to work at one of my high school jobs way back when was at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, jeez.
And that was way back before everything was like packaged, and so we were like making biscuits from scratch and all that stuff. But one of the jobs of the cooks was when the biscuits came out of the oven, you had to take the little brush and butter the. Man, you wanted one of my biscuits because those things were melt in your mouth, buttery when that was done.
So could you still like make like a mean biscuit?
No. I didn't actually do the mixing of the biscuits. I was cooking the chicken. Now I can tear a chicken thigh up for you and cut a chicken up if you need me to. So
you're making me hungry. I didn't really eat a whole lot for lunch, but oof.
Oh yeah, you got to tear the thigh tail off. You pop the thigh bone, get your thumb, scoop out the guts, and you're ready to go.
You eat KFC?
I like KFC. Popeyes is my go-to though.
What's the one? Is it Jack in the Box or White Castle?
Isn't it White Castle too?
Is Jack in the Box any good? We don't have any of those around.
Jack in the Box is okay. I haven't eaten there a ton. What I remember about Jack in the Box, which is probably not a good thing, is that they had these little crispy taco things.
Tacos.
But they're not like tacos. They're like little, almost like appetizer things. But
sliders.
Kind of, maybe.
Taco sliders.
Now, White Castle, I could get with some White Castle.
Yeah.
Like, we're going up to St. Louis here in a week and a half for a press conference.
Yeah.
I assure you on the way out of town, I will be swinging through the drive-through at White Castle.
Yeah. The whole gluten thing really holds me back from fast food anymore. It's tough. I can always just kind of like endure it, but it'd be miserable sometimes. I'm going to take a wild guess. So you haven't watched any playoff baseball.
On Saturday was game one of the Royals and Yankees.
I believe that's correct.
And I turned it on and I watched it live from like the fourth through the sixth inning,
Mm-hmm.
long enough for the Royals were ahead. Watched it long enough for their bullpen, which I mistakenly thought was supposed to be one of their strengths. Came in and had 5 walks and a hit in 1 inning, walked in 2 runs to lose the lead. Royals came back, took the lead on a base hit, and then the Yankees, when I turned it off, had tied it back up.
Yeah.
And then they ultimately lost it 6-5. But I'm paying attention way more this year than I have in the past because of the Royals.
Yeah.
So
it's been really cool too to see them. I think even after the wild card series, people kind of ruled them out against the Yankees because it is the Yankees. They do have a good roster, but they ended up losing that game 1 on Saturday. Monday night though, got
4-run inning.
Yeah, huge, and I think that win could be very pivotal because now you're guaranteed 2 games in KC.
Yep.
The Yankees are good. The Yankees are good, but it's hard to go win 2 like that back to back.
Well, the bottom line is you had to win 1 at Yankee Stadium in order to win the series. Just simple math. You had to win 1 there.
Yeah.
Now you have go take care of business at home. If you do, you're moving
have
on.
to go back. Yeah.
So
yeah, it would be crazy. That's just like, I don't know. They've exceeded my expectations, and I felt like I was one of the early on board people saying that they might have a legitimate shot. And to think that they could turn this into some sort of 2015-esque run is just
that'd be
like,
awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which has been kind of exciting watching, Eric Hosmer. We just inducted him. And so long story short, I started following him on Twitter back when we inducted him. And of course, he's all in on the Royals and cheerleading. And even though he's kind of doing some, podcasting and media stuff, he's still, you can tell who he's rooting for. And so, but they caught lightning in a bottle, like, I don't know, late summer. And got on a roll, and sometimes that's what it takes.
Well, and like the Detroit Tigers, like sometimes it just amazes me in baseball. It's like the Detroit Tigers have 9 guys in their lineup, and you probably don't know a single one of them, I only know one, and that's because he was a highly touted prospect.
Well, to be honest with you, it used to be that way, the opposite with the Yankees, where everybody knew it, every starter from, all the way around the field. I was watching that for 2 innings, and other than Aaron Judge, I'd heard of Soto.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, who's this guy with the mustache walking out to talk to the pitcher? Don't know who this guy is. I'm used to Jorge Posada back there forever, and it's not happening. So and honestly, regrettably, the same way with the Royals, I can't name their lineup because I don't watch enough baseball.
Yeah. Well, Bobby Baseball. That's all you got to know. Future of the game right there. Let me ask you this: Yankees, no facial hair, no long hair. Is that a good rule or a bad rule?
I don't care.
And you don't?
No, I think they don't have the no facial rule anymore, do they?
Mustache only.
That's all I said.
Mustache only, and then the hair can't be
long.
I don't know.
Personally, I'm not rocking the beard and the long hair, but if you can do it and that's what you want to do, then
the Yankees have done it forever.
But that's been their rule forever.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's in the modern era of baseball. I want it to go away, but if they're the only ones that do it, I think it is pretty cool.
I wonder if there's
unique.
ever been guys that have made enough money that had a chance to go to the Yankees but didn't because they've got the long beard that they're known for. Yeah, they have the long hair or something.
It is interesting.
Jason Worth, is that the guy that looked like a caveman for the Phillies a few years ago? Maybe not Jason Worth. He had like the long hair and big scraggly beard.
Yeah, yes. They've got a guy right now.
He's not playing for the Yankees.
They've got a guy right now, Brandon Marsh, and he's got like down his back, like long hair. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's ever not gone there because of that though. It is funny though to see guys that they have facial hair their whole career and then they go to the Yankees and you're like, ooh, probably need that beard back.
Johnny Damon had long hair. And then cut it to go to the Yankees. He cut it to go to the Yankees.
Because he was with the Red Sox there for a while.
Yeah, I think he had long hair and then actually got all clean cut to play for the Yankees.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's just kind of like I would think most of the guys, most of the players, that they're probably just honored to be able to play for that prestigious of an organization. What do you make of the A's? All that.
Moving last game, all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunately it's a fact of life for professional sports, and you're gonna have arguments on both sides, and obviously some arguments are stronger than others. And
Yeah.
the owner will say A, B, and C, and the fans and the city will say X, Y, and Z, and one of those probably right, although that's probably somewhere in the middle. But I don't know. It stinks for the Oakland fans and any place that's kind of had a team that they've lost. St. Louis still talks about the Rams moving. Stan Kroenke's certainly not a fan favorite there in St. Louis. So it happens, unfortunately in professional sports. So, the bottom line is, everybody's rooting for the Chiefs. They used to be in Dallas, the Dallas Texans. So at one point they left the city and moved. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
unfortunately.
If I had $1 for every time somebody was like, Stan Kroenke, still in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
On our social medias, it's like,
Still there.
yep. Yep. Random stuff. Just like the most random thing we post. It has nothing to do with anything, not even the sport of football.
Great day out at the such and such Hall of Fame Golf Classic. Stan Kroenke still in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it kills me. It kills me. Speaking of the Chiefs, you mentioned the Chiefs. I was able to go to the Monday Night Football game
Sweet.
on Monday. Played the Saints, and it's just weird. It's just weird having grown up and the Chiefs being so bad for so long, and it just feels like you're just watching a cat play with a mouse. It's like they are just so good. They're so good. I mean, Pat Mahomes.
They're not
just
even playing that well.
Yeah, exactly. They go out. That's what I'm saying. They go out there. They're just like flipping laterals and doing all this kind of stuff, and it's just so profound to me that they, I guess that's how the NFL's set up. If you're bad enough, long enough, you draft good, you're going to be good eventually.
Well, and I think it also helps when you have a generational talent.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They don't say it's not called the most important spot on the field it's called that for a reason. When you get a franchise quarterback, that person can make up for a lot of other stuff. Tom Brady in New England, top to bottom, their roster wasn't, all pro year in and year out, but you got a generational talent at quarterback.
Yeah.
Obviously Patrick Mahomes is going to go down as one of, if not, he may even already be on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. There's obviously a lot of people have played the position, and you're going to get some old timers bringing up some names that some people never heard of, but you said magician. I mean, that's pretty much what he is.
Yeah.
So.
He's up there. I want to kind of go off a quick tangent real quick, talking about how much the quarterback position is important to success, especially in the NFL. It's been interesting to see some of the turnover that they've had this year. Bryce Young's had to take a seat. A lot of people gave up on Sam Darnold for a while. Now he's
undefeated.
Now he's doing
undefeated with the
doing
Vikings.
pretty well. You saw Baker go to 3 different teams within a year, and then finds a home in Tampa Bay
and lighten it up.
Yeah, and I don't know what you call this theory. I kind of call it the Brock Purdy theory, though. All these teams know they need a good quarterback. But I think the problem is a lot of them are looking for quarterbacks first. You need a good team.
Yeah.
And then you need to put a smart, game managing, solid quarterback. If you find a generational talent, you find one. But if you put a guy in the right situation with the rest of the pieces, heck, you can have just about any. I won't go that far, but like Brock Purdy, he's got
Mr.
great,
Irrelevant.
He's got great footwork. He's very accurate.
Very
He's got good touch on the ball. He is not nearly as talented though as a lot of the guys that start at that position in the league. But because he has all the pieces, he's able to have success. He's in a good system. He understands that system. He's able to execute it, and he's just got playmakers that he can dish it to. Other teams, it's like they go get this number 1 draft pick, and everybody wants to take quarterback in the first round. And I'm like, you don't have anything else to go with it. And I think that's why you've seen so many busts at the quarterback position here recently. I've been surprised with Jaden Daniels though,
Washington,
because and granted, they had some offseason guys come in. They've had some elite young receivers that are kind of getting better year after year. Austin Eckler, I think, provides depth. They've just got a lot of weapons. They can score. But what he's doing right now, I wasn't a believer. I mean, I saw him win the Heisman, but I didn't know if it would translate to the NFL, and he's shut me up. So
it's crazy. I mean, I think it's all about fit.
Yeah.
sometimes the fit's better, and that includes the coach,
Yeah.
includes the system. You mentioned the system. Do you have a good defense? Are they putting you in a bad spot every time you get on the field?
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors. Obviously, Brock Purdy, outstanding defense with the Niners, and on top of that, he's got some weapons. I mean, George Kittle, one of the top tight ends in football.
Yeah.
You got the guys outside, of course, Christian McCaffrey when he was healthy.
Yeah.
You put almost any. I'm not saying that you and I could step into that too well, but
No, yeah.
you don't have to be all world to play in a spot like that. Whereas you mentioned Bryce Young, he's going to a bad situation.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, they're not
Yeah.
good on offense. They're not good on defense. Coaching staff. I mean, it's all up in the air. And the thing is, because I was paying very close attention to the quarterbacks that year because the Colts were drafting fourth and needed a quarterback. And of course, you knew Carolina was drafting first, and there was all this hype about, but it was almost a given from day one that they were drafting Bryce Young, no questions asked.
Yeah.
And you got all the intangibles that he's this height and all of these things. And of course, you talk about system. He was in a assembly line of NFL talent at Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was never sold on, thought that I guess I'm glad that the Colts weren't drafting first because they were going to take Bryce Young and they would be in the same situation. Now, that being said, CJ Stroud went number 2, I believe, in that draft, and he's a future superstar.
He's a real deal.
He's got a good head on his shoulders in terms of he sees the field. He's solid. So
Anthony Richardson just got to stay healthy before anything
Anthony
else.
Hilston, he makes plays that are just like dumb, like unbelievably like dumb, and like I'm talking like a kid saying, "Whoa, that was dumb," that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then he just makes some dumb plays.
Yeah.
I've seen him throw interceptions to a guy that was wide open, as in the defender, and no one within 15 yards. I've seen him throw 65-yard touchdown off his back foot. I mean, but once again, he is made of glass apparently. So
I always think his game,
I don't know.
he makes me think of like how you play in the backyard with your buddies, kind of just like slinging around. Like,
and it's like the plays he gets injured on are like routine. Like it wasn't like he got lit up by, blindside or something. It was just a regular tackle. And all of a sudden he's, it's just, So now the Colts go from, the future, allegedly, this franchise quarterback to a 39-year-old,
he kind of balled though a little bit.
He did ball.
I mean, did they win on Sunday?
No, they were down. They haven't won. The Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014.
Jeez.
10 straight road losses. And I say road only because 9 of them were in Jacksonville. 1 was in London, but they've not beaten Jacksonville away from Indy in 10 years. So
Andrew Luck.
They were down 14 with 6 minutes to play, tied the game up, and then the defense just let them drive right down the field
Yeah. Don't worry, you're not alone. The Cleveland Browns are just so hard to watch. So hard to watch. Just find ways to beat themselves. Deshaun Watson doesn't even need to be on the team.
It's just bad. You talk about fit. I don't think that the chemistry. I think it's just completely gone.
Yeah. Well, and I was telling you earlier that the NFL is set up for longevity. If you draft well enough, you're gonna get good.
Yeah.
The Browns are a good example of just not getting enough hits. Too many misses on their draft picks. You see, like,
which Houston Texans are the opposite of that. They drafted like number 1 or 2 overall for like 3 or 4 years in a row,
and they've got some players,
and they're ready to go.
The Browns have just been historically bad, except for if you go way back.
The Ernest Biner, Kevin Mack days.
Yeah, like the I wasn't even a thought days. But like you see where they hit, like they get a guy like Denzel Ward or Nick Chubb or
Baker Mayfield.
Well, but I mean that's the thing is like there's so many. You don't have enough Myles Garretts. You've got too many Johnny Manziels and going through 30 quarterbacks in 30 years, and like it's just it's tough to watch. And then there's definitely levels to it when you compare stuff like that to teams going for their 3rd consecutive Super Bowl, which is like, get tired of hearing about it just a little bit, but also good for us. Who do you like in college now, though? It's all just a toss up now. Like Everybody can be beat.
Well,
It's very
and the
obvious.
thing is like Saturday used to have monumental, when the number one team loses to Vanderbilt, Bama's dropping to wherever and they're out of the, they're not going to,
yeah.
and they're done now with a 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
You think Bama's not in the playoff? They're going to be in the playoff. So
Unless something,
a loss now just doesn't hurt you the way it used to.
Yeah.
So I do think, I mean, that doesn't mean that Saturday wasn't exciting. It was.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't
in
carry
terms of
as
affecting
much.
playoff implications, zero.
Yeah.
It's just not. I mean, Bama's in the playoff regardless. There's a zero chance they don't make it. So you're going to have, Bama and Georgia and Tennessee, Texas A&M. Now that they've beaten Mizzou, they have an easy schedule. If you can have an easy SEC schedule, they've got it.
Yeah.
Texas is loaded out of the the SEC. Now there's a big one coming up here in a couple of weeks, Georgia and Texas, which is awesome.
Texas got
and
OU.
Tennessee, Alabama. It's on the same day.
Yeah. Texas got OU first this Saturday.
Little cupcake tune-up or
Dude, if it stays low scoring, if they can kind of,
well, I don't know if your arch rival is a trap game, but Texas looking ahead to Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, they better come to play because Oklahoma will.
Granted, they both are coming off a bye. They
Yeah.
both had a bye last week. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really tough. If they can keep it low scoring, if they can kind of contain their offense a little bit, I think that there's a chance. If the combined score gets above 45, 50 points, I don't think we're keeping pace at that point. We won't be able to. Texas is good.
Texas is really good. Georgia's really good.
Yeah.
Alabama, Tennessee are really good. I wasn't blown away by A&M. I tell you what, Mizzou, they're not out of the playoff, of course, but that there was talk of if they could go into A&M and win, then win next week. I don't remember who they have, maybe Vandy or something, but and then they got Alabama here in a couple weeks on the road.
Man, some of those slates are just wild.
If Mizzou can go to Alabama and win, which is not crazy. I mean, Bama's beatable. Obviously, they just lost at Vanderbilt. So, if you could somehow go down to Tuscaloosa and win, I think 3 losses in the SEC, you still have a chance for the playoff.
Yeah, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, there will be 3, 4, maybe probably not 5. There will probably be 3 or 4 SEC teams.
Big Ten, Ohio State's a lock.
I'm not impressed with anybody else.
No, I think Penn State's ranked 10th or something. I don't know. They're going to have 2 or 3 losses when it's all done. I
think Oregon's just like getting by.
Oregon just
Michigan, looks like they're kind of.
None of those are just.
Yeah.
USC got beat. I mean, it's just not a. Aside from Ohio State, I just don't see anybody on the Big Ten just blowing me away.
Penn State's been all right, but still yet. I really thought Oregon would be solid playing that competition. And it just looks like they just like barely find a way to just win a game. I thought their offense would be explosive. Of course, maybe not as much as some people because I'm not as big of a Dylan Gabriel, believer as like everybody thought he was the biggest guy in the transfer portal ever. But it'll be interesting. You're right. There's going to be some crazy college football slates that I'm going to be looking forward to watching here in the coming weeks. But we're going to be in Columbia October 20th for our annual enshrinement up there. A lot of people in a loaded class. Chase Daniel, John Anderson, Ben Askren, just to name a few. Several other very deserving inductees that are going to get recognized here in a few weeks. If you've made it this far in the episode, we appreciate you joining us. New episodes every Wednesday, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. We took a quick break. We were gone for a couple weeks, a lot of life happening, but we're back. We're going to try and keep repping these out, getting the latest and everything happening across the state of Missouri. We've got college football is wild, playoff baseball going on right now. Who knows? We may even just throw in a bracket here sometime soon just to spice it up a little bit. But leave us a review, leave a review, give us a like, share with your friends, and we can catch you next time. Byron, you got anything?
We will see you. Just stay tuned to mosportshallofame.com for all social media channels because we've got a lot coming up.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time on another episode of Where the Game Lives On.